Hey guys, Marcel here at Pro Play Games. I'm back from Atlanta Pro Play Tour, and this is my top 8 profile for my Height of Mastery Brawly list. Alright guys, so this is the leader that I used, the Brawly leader that came from the Brawly pack number 1. What he does on the front side is when he attacks anywhere, it doesn't have to be a leader card, you can activate his ability to take a life, and if you do, you draw a card from the top of your deck. When you awaken, you untap 2 energy. Very, very strong leader, even on the front side, draws 2 every turn when he attacks, and he still untaps 2. Unlike other leaders that draw 2, they usually untap 1. He's very similar to Baby Vegeta in that sense, where he's very versatile when he awakens and very strong early game. You can't really stop him from drawing cards. So when he awakens, he's the Awakened Threat Broly. He has 2 Activate mains and 1 auto draw card as usual. But Activate main number 1, he rests a battle card. Very generic, very useful in the general sense of the game of DBS in general. So it helps a lot of situations where you normally wouldn't be able to get certain things off the board or blockers and tap them, so you can go for game. The second Activate main is very, very strong, which makes this leader really useful. Like a pseudo Shenron, it gives everything dual attack or untaps energy. What he does is take a life and untaps literally anything, himself, energy, or a battle card, and lets you swing again or use energy again. And if you untap him, which I did use a few times in the tournament, you will draw another card. It is not once per turn when you draw. So that's very useful in that ability. So first I'm going to go through my extra cards, and then the battle cards, and then the sideboard. So the first 4 cards is going to be Successor of Hope. This card is what starts the engine. This is a swap deck, so it gets any swap 5 or less. And interesting to note, it can't get your 8 drops swaps that you really need to finish. That's why we run a few more copies of those instead of a lower count. So this card is literally a 0 cost, get you pretty much any combo piece you need in your decks. Very consistent, very useful for most games. Always run it at 4. Next is 2 Time Magics. This is very good against the Mirror Match or Shenron players. It's Sparking 5. It allows you to ignore barrier and make something not be able to untap. This is really strong against Mirrors, like the 7-drop Mirror that gets like infinite attack. You can't restand it, so it pretty much shuts them down for that turn. Next, Brawly leader is a Frieza army in the new movie, so we're allowed to use Bloodlust. Very strong general sense of the game. This shuts down a lot of things. Killing Zone is coming up in popularity, and it is for good reason. Next is Battering Laser, the most talked about card right now in the set. I mean, in the current meta. It just negates the counters, so if they try to negate, you just negate and they're negate. Pretty straightforward, shuts down games, ends it really quickly. This is mainly for Sparking Negates because this deck actually taps down most people's energies, and the only out is Sparking Negates, and this shuts that out. So closes games, very important. Can also stop opponents' counter plays like Bloodlust, so it's very strong. 3 Planet Vegeta. Not too sure where I stand about this card right now. Peter keeps telling me to put it down to 1. I don't like 1-ofs, I like consistency. Usually I sided 1 out most games, left it at 2. It gets my super combos, so I kind of left it in there, and it gets pieces that if my successor, I didn't draw a successor, it can get them as well. It just gets a 4-drop or less Saiyan, and it can also be used to restand apes at the end of my turn, which is sort of relevant. I have 1 card that can be benefited from that. 3 Time Control Cronoa. Yes, I can pronounce it correctly. It is very strong in the meta right now. Brawly is very popular. It took 6 out of the top 16 at this event. It didn't hurt my deck too much, but it did hurt certain decks that relied on it, like the veggie decks that were using Brawly. Definitely mainboard this at like a 2 or 3 of, and I sided in the 4th. Next, I have 1 Shugesh, 3 Pure-Hearted Son Gokus. They're all searchable off of my Planet Vegeta. The Unwavering Shugesh out of 1 of is very important to just leave it there. You do not want to put 2 or 3 or 4. It just gets destroyed by Chrono too much. But it's never too useless in matchups where where they don't play Chrono, or even if they do, it's a 10k power. It's not like it's the end of the world if it gets destroyed, but it's very useful if they don't. You can it just extends so many plays that it's just worth having a one of. And sorry guys, I have a cold ever since I came back from Atlanta. Don't know where that came from. Bardock Will of Iron. This is a questionable card that I would say side in and out depending on the matchups. I would definitely probably put some more in if the matchup needed aggression or defense. And it gets restood by playing a Vegeta at the end of your turn, and it evolves over your 1-drop Bardocks. So very useful and versatile card in general in this deck. It's not the main concept, but you can go alternate routes, which is very useful in a tournament setting. So 1-drop Bardock, I played 3 copies of it. I only need to see one of it for the whole game, so I didn't really want to go too heavy on it. This isn't a 1-2 swap deck. It's a 1 through 8, so you just need to see it once and just start going up the chain like that. Some games I decided out the evolve target completely, so it wasn't that relevant to have more copies of him available. And you take life really, really fast with this leader, so you don't want to use him too much. I actually wanted to put Grandpa Gohan's in here instead because you take so much life so fast, but that's for maybe a next time updated list. The next card is Caring Mother of Videl at a 4 of. The reason why I put this at a 4 of and no other swap card at 4 of is because it's unsearchable completely. You can't search it with your Planet Vegeta, you can't search it with your Successor Hope, you just need to see the card to use it. And it's a really strong swap target for decks that their leaders say attack leader, draw a card. Like Hyrule, let's say, because they leave it alone, they can't deal with it. And it just draws you cards to find your pieces faster and more consistent. And a lot of your cards can get dual attack, so giving it 5k for the turn is very relevant. It makes it stronger over the course of the turn. Alright. Dependable Dynasty Son Goku at a 3 of. I didn't really put any 4 ofs for the swaps, like I said, because it's searchable. Very important because Son Goten was banned. This is our best alternative. 15k beat stick. Really strong if you need to go aggressive. Also, interesting thing to note, it has swap to a 3-drop for 2 yellow energy. And we have a new 3-drop that we can actually swap into, and you can get it as early as turn 2 with this strategy. And we have another 2-drop that we can swap into because Goku's lineage, and that's Gene here to support. When she attacks or is comboed, you can mill up to the top 3 cards of your deck. So you can go 0, 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3 in your discard pile. So if you need a certain number for, let's say, sparking, you can go to the exact number. You don't have to go over or under, and you don't have to use it at all whatsoever if you don't want to. And it is a Goku's lineage, so you can swap into it. So if you need another attacker, like if you whiff on having a 2-drop to swap into, you can also swap into her. It's very important to get to Sparking 7 in this deck, so that's why she's in here. Against Janemba, I always sided her out. So the man of the hour himself, Son Goku Path to Greatness. I have 3 of it. I think that's the exact number you need. You don't need 4th one. It's easily searchable. By the time you need it, it should be in your hand. This card's insane. It's 19k, so it's 20k on defense. People always try to keep trading into it. I let them do it because it was so easy to out combo it. Or I get a Shugesh into another one. It was a really strong play that I did against one of the players throughout the Swiss rounds. It even draws you a card when played. People like Peter Katani stopped reading after the Sparking 7 part, but actually it rests a card and draws a card when you play this card. And it has barrier, so it's really hard to deal with. But the best part about it is swap 8. You go from a 3-drop to an 8-drop instantly as long as you have 4 yellow energy and Sparking 7. That's why Sparking 7 is very important. You need to do it in a timely fashion. That's why we play the Genes. So very important. This card swaps in to this card right here. 4 of Height of Mastery Son Gokus. The heart of the deck, the main win con. 35k, triple strike, dual attack, deflect. You can't bloodlust this, can't crusher ball this, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Your energy is gonna get tapped down from its auto, You can't really interact much with this card, and it wins games. You can dual attack and even restand it a third time if you want to. I never did that this entire tournament. I've never ever restood it for the third time. I always untapped one energy for my battering laser because sparking negates were super relevant in that tournament. Every single person ran it that I played against. Even when they're tapped out, you gotta check you gotta ask them how much cards are in your discard pile every time. If they don't, you just go for it. You combo whatever you need, and they take it. They always try to like combo 5 for no reason. They'll combo, can't out combo because they're like at 6 life, and then you see the play that they're trying to set up. It's sparking negate. So you say leader ability, untap an energy, swing again. They try to use sparking negate. You battering laser it, pitch a yellow card. Good game. You dump your hand. If you're going against Janemba leader, you only really had one win con outside of out comboing them on this swing, and that is big old bad Victory Strike Goku from Torrent of Power. The Man of the Hour, $400 card right now. 45k can't be negated, can't be removed from the skill. The skill can't be removed, so he also can't be bloodlusted. It's like a Deflect, but before Deflect was printed. Like this destroys Janemba. You kind of have to switch up your playstyle and leave them in a high life total. Maybe swing at them twice because you have to leader ability twice and get them from 6 to 0 instantly with this Victory Strike card. Because once you deal any point of damage, they just lose. This stole games against my top 8 match, which is where I stopped. I lost to the winner of the event, Dahan, Little D, from Jacksonville and G Sports Entertainment. Congratulations to you for winning the whole event. He did mill my Victory Strike game 1 and 3. That is pretty much how I lost top 8. I got really unlucky there. Game 2 I actually drew it, and that's how I won game 2. But yeah, game 3 he got me. I saw him crack a grin when it was milled. It was really unlucky for me. But yeah, that is the deck main win con right here. You can win usually with this card, to be honest. It wins most games, but Victory Strike guarantees the victory right there. That's why it's Victory Strike. The last few cards, my favorites, Furthering Destruction, Champa, and Mirror Creator Absorbed. So my favorite card, Champa, been here since set 1. I went to West Kai one set, went back to it, didn't like it. Same effect, similar effect. It's the fact that you have to declare that you're getting double strike, and that just annoyed me. I didn't want to keep declaring double strike. It should just be a thing. It did. Well, it was relevant one time. My opponent was at 4 life, and I needed 10k combo power to use an energy before I untapped it or whatever when I awakened. So I used this, and it forced him to take 2 life instead of just 1. But I still won that game regardless. It didn't really matter. Because I was going for triple strike next, but that's the only difference between Champa and West Kai, to be honest. Mira was MVP of the day. The game plan with this deck is 2 things. You either wait till turn 4 and just OTK them in one shot, or you aggro them down the whole game with your 1-2 swap portion of the deck, and then finish them off with a Mira, restand it, give it double strike, battering, all that good stuff. And that's how I won a lot of games, especially against, I think, Eric Hill, one of the Hill twins.
You can't say one of the Hill twins.
I don't know how it's going.
You have to learn the name.
Sorry. He was playing really aggressive to me, got me down to 3 life on turn 2, but he tapped out. I chronoed him, so I knew Shugesh Kagoki wasn't going to happen. And I was just like, yo, let's go for it. Mira, double strike, awaken, untap 2, attack again, battering, double strike, good game. Instantly. If people try to aggro you down, you always have outs in every situation. So yeah, let me talk about my sideboard real quick. I kind of spaced out before the event. There was definitely a card I should have added, and I'll talk about that now. 3 Dendays. This was for the ramp matchup, just in case I went second against Shenron and they got a ramp. I couldn't stop them usually, so I would have Dende. I didn't actually go against a single Shenron player, but this is what it was for. So I don't have much testing on that, to be honest. The last Cronoa against the Brawly matchups where they ran a heavy count of Shugesh. If they only ran 1 or 2, it wasn't that big of a deal. so I didn't necessarily cite it in, but it was sort of relevant, especially against when they ran Force Shugash, and it just shut down their deck pretty hard. This was probably one of the cards I would have switched to the main board. Universe 7 Representative. If you go first, you're going to hit turn 4 faster, so you're going to try to OTK them on turn 4. You need to find your Victory Strike as fast as possible, or your 8-drops. Those are the only cards in your deck that aren't searchable, except this card. This can actually top 7 search for them, because they are Universe 7 pieces. And it can also search for itself, so if you ever whiff on the good pieces, you can at least try again next turn, but in preparation for turn 4. And it gets pieces in extra cards in the discard pile, so you want to get Sparking 7 as fast as possible. So this helps a lot. 3 Crusher Balls. Never used it. Didn't come up. A lot of things have Deflect right now. I can't really think of anything relevant right now that it would actually stop, to be honest. But I had it there just in case it came up. The last Bloodlust, 4th one against Baby, came in a lot. Like the veggies that stopped Kaba from doing pretty much anything. It just stopped it. I rested it, then killed it the next turn. It was really useful against matchups where like Chain Zeno. Killy Zone again is very important in this meta right now, guys. You guys gotta start playing Killy Zone in the main board because Brawly is a thing. Bloodlust is back, and it's dangerous. The 4th Battering Laser against people who like Janemba, who runs Mafuba and Sparking Negates. You just gotta stop. You have to. Sometimes against Janemba, I literally had to do 2 bad rings to kill them because they resolved twice after they awakened, and then used their normal negate and their leader negate, and then the next attack was a Sparking Negate, and I had to stop that too. So you need all 4 Battering Lasers in that matchup. Really strong, best like game ender in the game. Just negate their negates. Time Magic, the 3rd one. I think I want to move this back to the main board because it's pretty relevant. You want to tap out sometimes just to extend your plays, like in preparation for the next turn. And Time Magic, like if people aggro you down and you don't save your turn 3 Awakening for your 3-drop, you might get stuck, but you need to play that 3-drop on turn 3 for you to set up the win next turn. So you sometimes have to tap out, and Time Magic Sparking is very important. The last copy of Gene here to support. Sometimes 2 just wasn't enough, and I kind of, like against Shenron, this would be very important because they don't do anything. They literally don't do anything. You need to see this card to mill yourself to 7 in your discard pile. I probably would take this out and just like, again, probably play the Universe 7 rep instead because that card is really important. And going first, you're siding, like going first, you get Universe 7 Representative. And going second, I would say play Gene here to support because sure, you could win on turn 4 either way, but turn 4 you might die by then, so you gotta go aggressive, and this is not combo power, this is combo power, and that's why. And last was Pre-Face of Recovery Son Goku, the only blue card in the deck. It was just for my 1 Shugash, 1-to-1 ratio of this and this. I was trying to do it for Top Cut. I was just trying to check people's deck list and see, did you run Cronoa? If you didn't, all right, this is coming in. My 1 Shugash is gonna let me untap energy and extend my plays and keep going. No, never happened. All 8 rounds of Swiss and the 2 rounds of Top Cut, every single person ran Cronoa, so it was pointless. Never came into use. So I would definitely change it for something else. All right, guys. So quick recap of the Atlanta event that I had, my experience that I had. It was really fun. 8 rounds of Swiss day 1, and then Top Cut was day number 2 along the 3v3 event. It was really fun. We brought back the PBG +1 with this time with me and Peter, and a person we met was Troy, was our 3rd person. I really like the meta for team 3v3s. Everyone gets their own color because no one can share the same card. So we had a red deck, blue deck, and a yellow deck. Green is kind of falling out of favor right now because of the cell nerfs. So I'm kind of waiting for a new green deck to pop up. Maybe Cell will come back, or some other deck like the Krillin Goku SS1 deck might come up, and we might see some stuff. I really like the meta. It's changing drastically, and it's really interesting to see what people are coming up with, to be honest. It was really fun. The people coming up and signing the Chile mats, was really great. You guys can get that at our Facebook page. Just message us and we'll work out something with you guys. Thank you Ultra Pro for sponsoring Pro Play Games and Pro Play Games for sponsoring me. I'll be there at the next March event, so see you guys then, and peace. Have a good time.